Good morning. Good morning. Welcome and welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, June the 20th, 2024, and we are here to look at new releases being set into the wild this week. And each day of the week, we look at a different genre. And on Thursdays, we look at fantasy and science fiction. Quick announcements. We have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They will go for 2.5 hours. I do every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. Let's see who is here. Good morning, Elena. How are you? I'm doing pretty well. I've got my cup of coffee ready for the day, and you're doing great. Oh, you betcha. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Alrighty, so let's jump in at the fantasy and science fiction. I think that one was pretty. Of Jade and Dragons by Amber Chen. This is first in the Fall of the Dragon series, apparently a series. A thrilling silk punk fantasy about a girl who must disguise herself as a boy and enter the famed and dangerous Engineers Guild trials to unravel the mystery of her father's murder. 18-year-old I Aihui Aihui Ying, I apologize, dreams of becoming a world-class engineer like her father. But after his sudden murder, her life falls apart, left with only a journal of her father's engineering secrets and a jade pendant snatched from the assassin. A heartbroken Ying follows the trail to the capital and the prestigious Engineers Guild, a place that harbors her father's hidden past. Determined to discover why anyone would threaten a man who ultimately chose a quiet life over fame and fortune. Disguised as her brother, Ying manages to infiltrate the guild's male-only apprenticeship trial, with the help of an unlikely ally, Aogia Yingyang, the taciturn eighth prince of the High Command. With her father's renown placing a target firmly on her back, Ying must stay one step ahead of her fellow competitors, the jealous guild masters and the killer still hunting for her father's journal. Complicating everything is her increasingly tangled relationship with the prince, who may have mysterious plans of his own. The secrets concealed within the guild can be as deadly as the weapons they build, and with her life and the future of her homeland at stake, Ying doesn't know who to trust. Can she avenge her father, even if it means going against everything he stood for, or will she be next in the mastermind's line of fire? I don't know about you guys, but it's just kind of all these same tropes are getting boring. Rake's Fall by Vajra Chandrasekhara. Sakura. Standalone science fiction epic. An epic be epic if it's 300 pages. Some stories take more than one lifetime to tell. There are wrongs that echo through the ages, friendships that outpace the claws of death, loves that leave their mark on civilization, and promises that nothing can break. This is one such story. Annalid and Leverett met as children in the middle of the Sri Lankan Civil War. They found each other in a torn-up nation, peering through propaganda to grasp a deeper truth. And in a demon-haunted wood, another act of violence linked them and propelled their souls on a journey throughout the ages. No world can hold them, no life can bind them, and they'll never leave each other behind. Tracing two souls through endless lifetimes, this book is a virtuosic, is that really a word? Exploration of what stories can be. As Annalid and Leverett reincarnate ever deeper into the future, they will chase the edge of human possibility in a dark science fiction epic unlike anything you've read before. But for a science fiction-y, speculative fiction-y thing, the cover is screaming fantasy. to me. That's just me. Let's get the marketing team on that. The Cautious Traveler's Guide to the Wastelands, a novel by Sarah Brooks. For fans of Piranesi and the Midnight Library, historical fantasy novel. Set on a Grand Express train about a group of passengers on a dangerous journey across a magical landscape. It is said there is a price that every passenger must pay, a price beyond the cost of a ticket. There is only one way to travel across the wastelands on the Trans-Siberian Express, a train as famous for its luxury as for its danger. The train is never short of passengers eager to catch sight of wasteland's creatures more miraculous and terrifying than anything they could imagine. But on the train's last journey, something went horribly wrong, though no one seems to remember what exactly happened. Not even Zhang Weiwei, who has spent her life on board and thought she knew all of the train's secrets. Now the train is about to embark again with a new set of passengers. Among them are Maria Petrovna, a grieving woman with a borrowed name, Henry Gray, a disgraced naturalist looking for redemption, and Elena, a beguiling stowaway with a powerful connection to the wastelands itself. Weiwei knows she should report Elena, but she can't help but be drawn to her. As the girls begin a forbidden friendship, there are warning signs that the rules of the wastelands are changing, and the train might once again be imperiled. Can the passengers trust each other as the wildness outside threatens to consume them all? That sounds very intriguing. It sets the atmosphere very just by reading that little description. The Girl Who Kept the Castle by Ryan Groudon. Nevermore meets Howl's Moving Castle. They have to do that in every book. It's the first in a duology. Perfect for fans of wizards, dragons, magical castles, spectacular spells, and a spunky cat who may not be what he seems. Wizard West was dead for nearly an entire day before he noticed, and it was up to Faye, the daughter of West's groundskeeper, to inform the wizard that he is a ghost who has lost all of his magical powers, but not before the wizard tries transforming her into a cat. To make matters worse, the enchanted castle of Celardur, the only home that Faye has ever known, will fall apart at the next full moon if its foundation spells can't be renewed. After sort of accepting his demise, West decides to host a competition to choose his successor. Faye finds herself fighting to keep the tournament running smoothly behind the scenes, putting out kitchen fires, feeding the compost dragon, and making sure competitors stay away from the cockatrice pen. But killer roosters soon become the least of her worries. A servant of the evil Shadow Queen has sabotaged the contest, set on destroying not just Celardur, but the entire kingdom of Solemn. It is up to Faye to stop him, but she'll need more than a mop. Will a maid's magic be enough to save everything she loves from utter destruction? What would have happened if Hunger Games was never written and nobody knew how to write a fantasy sci-fi book? All these competitions. Cloak of the Vampire by Sapir A. Englard. First in the Cloak of the Vampire series. Eileen Henderson's unassuming life conceals a dark past. Outside of work, she hides behind her larger-than-life best friend Cassidy, whose constant need for attention suits Eileen and her secrets just fine, until the night Eileen dies. Awakening to a new world of brutality, bloodlust, and betrayal, Eileen plots revenge against Ragnar Rain, the monster who cursed her with the imprint, the demon who turned her into a vampire, the man whose eyes haunt her dreams. She's going to make this vampire lord regret the day he kissed her with the curse of immortality and made her his, if she can survive the auction and resist temptations of the flesh. Oh my. Hearts That Cut, Threads That Bind by Kika Hatsopoulos, second in the Threads That Bind series. It's been 5 weeks since Io left Atlante to follow the golden thread, and she's no closer to finding the god on the other end. She spends her days in constant grueling travel and her nights worrying over the fate thread she shares with Edidai, which seems to be fraying. Making matters worse, she and Bianca soon realize their only lead has shaken them off, snapped the golden thread, and disappeared. But not before Io gathers some crucial clues. Her investigation leads her to a new mystery, a rash of sibling disappearances across the wastelands that seems to be connected to the murders in Atlante, and all signs point to Nancy, the Golden City, as the center of the whole conspiracy. As Io and Bianca make their way to Nancy, they face powerful enemies, find allies new and old, and uncover a horrifying plot that traces back centuries. The more Io learns, the more she begins to suspect that the future of the world may truly rest on her shoulders. But she will have to determine how much of the future is her choice, and how much is simply her fate. The Runes of Engagement by Tobias Buckle. The Lord of the Rings meets Call of Duty in this delirious mashup, pitting confused soldiers against legendary monsters. No one could have prepared for the day when orcs, trolls, and dragons fell from the portals in the sky. Neither could they. But now a very tough but not quite prepared platoon of Marines is trapped on the wrong side. The enchanting world looks like Middle Earth, but to the dismay of even the geekiest soldiers, it's nothing like it. While the Marines fend off dangerous, improbable, and very rude assailants, their mission is to escort a very important princess who could broker a crucial strategic alliance between worlds. What could possibly go wrong? And I forgot to click on it. This was the book we were talking about. And back to it. Patricia Briggs has a new one. Oh, somebody was talking about this, I think on Discord. Winter Lost, 14th in the Mercy Thompson series. Mercy Thompson, car mechanic and shapeshifter, must stop a disaster of world-shattering proportions. In the supernatural realms, there are creatures who belong to winter. I am not one of them. But like the coyote, I can become at will. I am adaptable. My name is Mercy Thompson Hopman. My mate, Adam, is the werewolf who leads the Columbia Basin Pack, the pack charged with keeping the people who live and work in the Tri-Cities of Washington State safe. It's a hard job, and it doesn't leave much room for side quests, which is why when I needed to travel to Montana to help my brother, I intended to go by myself. Stay out of Montana. But I'm not alone anymore. Together, Adam and I find ourselves trapped with strangers in a lodge in the heart of the wilderness, in the teeth of a storm of legendary power, only to discover my brother's issues are a tiny part of the problem, much bigger than we could have imagined. Arcane and ancient magics are at work that could, unless we are very careful, bring about the end of the world. I could believe this past winter was part of this kind of supernatural battle going on. When we hit 30 below, yeah, I could believe that was the work of evil magic. That was nasty. Indaria, a lit RPG adventure by Sunrise CV. Okay. 6th in the System Universe books. Hi, Hermione. I am doing well. How are you? I got my cup of coffee. We're looking at books. This is way better news than the stuff you can find on the TV. The raid did not turn out to be what he was expecting. After some unsettling news brought to them by an unexpected messenger, Prince Edgar fled the raid dungeon to hurry back to his kingdom, leaving Derek as the impromptu leader. Being concerned about his people on the outside, Derek chose to rule with an iron fist to finish the dungeon as soon as possible. This choice didn't make him any friends, but he didn't need any for it to work. By taking the strongest to battle, he was able to lead the remaining party members to a successful dungeon completion, though not without casualty. Things are never easy. On their way out of the dungeon, Derek and Sylvie were abducted by a strange elf of unknown power. This man, known only as Dave, was strangely helpful and shared much of Derek's own distaste of the system interference that had been occurring ever since his evolution. Now, with more questions than ever before and answers to questions that he'd never thought to ask, Derek and Sylvie head back to Savannah to lend their help. What has happened to Sidaria? Was Edgar and Lyra leaving the raid the correct decision? Did Sidaria even need the prince's help? What does dragon taste like when properly cooked? Tastes like chicken. It was there. Low-lying fruit. I had to say it. Jake's Magical Market 3 by J.R. Matthews. Third in Jake's Magical Market series. 1,166 pages. This person had something to say for the third time. This is the exciting conclusion. Last time we saw Jake, he was redacted to avoid spoilers with redacted. In order to travel to redacted, he had finally learned redacted and redacted. He was just starting to redacted. So join him now on his new adventure as he redacted. Okay, no spoilers allowed, but be prepared for a life-changing, world-spanning, time-twisting conclusion to Jake's story. Lessons will be learned, maybe. New powers will be gained, definitely. Worlds will be explored, cool. Time will be tamed, is that even possible? And adventures will be adventured. Yes, that's the right way to say that. Don't worry about it. You won't want to miss this one, because it's going to be epic. It's so snarky. I think I like it. 166 pages. Wow. One must look. Ooh, sorry about that. Are they all that much? The first one's just a wimpy 775 pages. But I'm intrigued. It is so snarky. That was in my brain. Shadows and Storms, an epic romantic fantasy. A romantasy, if you will. Fourth, in the legends of Thesmar. She was ready to shed blood, ready to take back what was hers. The time has come to make one last stand against the forces of cursed men and monsters, but Thea's enemies are only getting stronger. With allies divided in an outnumbered army, she must race against her own fate to secure the future of the mid-realms or die trying. A prophecy is looming and Thea's life is in the balance. Does she have the power to cheat death itself? Love and loyalty will be tested, bonds will fracture forever, but all must fight for a better world. In the final war for survival, will Thea and Wilder emerge victorious, or will the shadows consume them at last? This is for fans of Fourth Wing, The Witcher, and The Bridge Kingdom. So you don't even have to bother to read the book. They've told you. I mentioned I hate it when they do that. And that authors can't write original things. Okay, let's move on. The God's Undoing by Mark Tufo. Can one soldier, one Genagerian, one old gatekeeper, and a renegade witch save the world? Find out in this book. The source, the natural wellspring of magic in the world, is stretched to the breaking point. If gluttonous witchcraft and human usurpers are not curtailed, it will vanish from the nine realms, taking with it every legendary race, and the magical sway of all that is good in the world will disappear forever. Before that end, the gods themselves will wage a final destructive war on creation. The quest to save magic at all costs is at hand, and an ancient prophecy awakens. An unlikely and unwilling hero emerges, Michael Talbot. a broken soldier with nothing to live for except the dream of an afterlife where he's finally reunited with his wife and daughter. Allies from throughout the Talbot universe rally to his side, and new friendships are formed, though agendas may not align. Talbot finds himself thrust in onto a path he would never have chosen, and as the magical world rises to its own defense, the world becomes rife with cruel foes, monsters, and deadly forces no human can guard against. So, maybe not. I'm no human. Rise of the Blighted Company, Trials of the Endless Plains, Book 3, a lit RPG adventure by R.J. Shoke, third in that series. Fresh from stopping an abyss beast invasion that threatened to corrupt the epic tier realms of the Endless Plains, Kato finds himself in a new series of worlds, as one does in lit RPG. At the heart of them is Nexus Reach, a place of floating islands and rigid structure. Kato quickly learns that his hard-won strength no longer affords him the same advantages that it once did. There are people in the Nexus Ranch with the same or greater feats and titles, capitalized, that not just match his own, but even put some of them to shame. He is woefully behind the curve. Yet that isn't the only obstacle in his way. A bottleneck bars his path forward. Until he can surmount the lady's requirements, he cannot evolve his class, leaving him to stagnate while his enemies grow their strength. Join Kato in this thrilling action-packed installment, blah. We're about to run out of time, and we have one more. Let's do it. The Invasion at the End of the World by Justin Marks, third in that series. Delve, Advance, Fight. Over the last year, the system has continued to remake the world. Jason and his friends have discovered more details about a threat to all of humanity and have a quest to stop it. They continually need to get stronger and do their part to protect their chunk of the world. While searching for clues, they will revisit allies and make new ones. They will face some hard choices as they encounter people out for themselves, but there will be new friends they can help along the way. They will discover more of the new world's rules and teach others what they have learned. Their hard work has made them the strongest team they know of, but will it be enough to face an enemy that has been part of the system for ages? Jason and his friends have more dungeon crawling, exploration, first contact, leveling up, and combat in this book. Okay. That is the fantasy and science fiction for this week. Awesome. All right, guys. We do have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. Tomorrow we'll be looking at some more historical mysteries because I am hosting the Midsummer Hist Mist. And if you are new to historical mysteries, this will give you some ideas, maybe show you some authors. I love historical mysteries, and I love to spread word about it. Hope you have a good Thursday. Hope to see you tonight. Please like the button. Please tell people about us. We would love to grow. And I hope that you are reading good books and take care of yourselves today. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom, nom. Have a good day and God bless.